iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Full-Time Fantasy Show. FullTimeFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Full-Time Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
It's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It's time to continue our podcast previews with the Chicago White Sox. Okay, we're going on the other side, the south side of Chicago. I like what the White Sox are doing. I really do. I like this team. I think they're in a position to make the playoffs, and they've got a good mix of young prospects and veterans that I think could be very, very dangerous here. And if they can just get another pitcher or two, they might be able to really, really surprise. So they brought in Yasmani Grandal from the Brewers, and he's got power, but what he really is, he's a very good catcher in terms of defensive catcher, and he works well with pitching staffs. So I think the Brewers were much better off with Grandal last year than they will be with Narvaez this year. So I think this is a big acquisition for the White Sox. I like Grandal. I think he's a 25 home run hitter, certainly in that park. Big fan. Look, Jose Abreu is never a guy that I focus on in drafts, but look, every year he does the same thing. He pops up 30 home runs and 100 RBIs, hits about 280 something, or maybe a little bit more than that. And he's a good player. Now, is he going to score more than 100 runs? Never. Is he going to have more than one stolen base? Probably not. But he is exactly who you think he is, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, second base, I want to see the White Sox let Nick Madrigal play, because this guy is an impact bat. I really do. I think he doesn't have much power, but he can hit the ball, and he's got a lot of speed. So instead of going with Lurie Garcia, instead of going with like an old veteran, let him go with Madrigal. Madrigal could be an exciting part of this order. Put him back in like the 8th or 9th spot, but the guy can definitely run, he can hit. There's nothing wrong with that. And because you have so many good guys around him, you can protect him better. I think he needs to be there. I think he's a sleeper. Yoan Moncada is a good hitter. And I think we overreacted in 2018. We're like, oh, he's 235. He's a lot of strikeouts, 200 strikeouts. But you know what? He's better than that. And last year he showed that. In 60 fewer at-bats, he had 8 more home runs. He hit 315. He cut down the strikeouts. He's a solid player. He wants to bat second in the order. Look, I think Moncada needs to be comfortable. Okay, this is a guy who needs to be comfortable. You put him in the right spot of the batting order. You can see a big fat fastball. He'll do some good work. So I think sometimes you have to cater to certain guys. And he's a guy that you cater to because he is so good. You need him, right? So you need him to be effective. Tim Anderson's most likely going to hit leadoff. So look, let's talk about Tim Anderson for a second. He was outstanding last year. He's been good the last 3 years, mind you. But last year he hit 335. I don't think he's a 335 hitter. Let me just say that. In the previous 2 years, he had 257 and 240. I think he's closer to those numbers than he is to 335. But 20 home runs, 60 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, you can count on all that. I just don't want you drafting him thinking you're getting 335. I think you're getting 265, and I'm going to be plenty okay with that. The outfield's good. Eloy Jimenez, man, this guy's going to be a big producer. I mean, big producer. Got to cut the strikeouts down a little bit. Doesn't take a walk very well, but man, he's got big power. 468 bats last year, 31 home runs. I think he can be at 41 to 51 home runs very soon. I'm a big fan. They brought in Nomar Mazara from the Rangers. Now, Mazara is okay. He's never really amounted to be the player that they were expecting, like the superstar player, but maybe that's okay. He's a 20 home run, 70 RBI guy who will hit about 260, hits very well against righties. Once again, he is who you think he is. I think they have Lurie Garcia there to go up against the lefty if they need him. And if they need to sit him every now and then, they'll do so. But Mazara is solid. Luis Robert is special. Okay? This guy is a special, special talent. And in AAA last year, he hit 297, 16 home runs. This is only in 200 at-bats, by the way. He's had 7 stolen bases. This is a 30-30 skill set. So here's the thing with Robert. When do you take him, firstly? And then is he going to hit 30-30 his first year? You take him in probably around 8 or 9, and he's not going to do 30-30. But he could get you 20-20. It's possible he could get you 20-20. He's that talented. So I'm a fan, but just don't strike too soon thinking you're getting Mike Trout or Ronald Acuna. You might be, but not just yet. All right, Edwin Encarnacion was brought over there from New York and Seattle, wherever else he was last year. He was in 100 different places. He's in a good spot as a DH. He's going to be right in the smack of that middle of that order. He's going to hit 30 home runs and 80 RBIs because that's what Edwin Encarnacion does. You know it and I know it. That's who he is. Okay. The closer is Alex Colomé. I'm not sure he's as good as he was last year, but he's a very good pitcher. He saved 30 out of 33 games. His ERA was under 3. But I don't like the strikeout to walk. That's my problem. 55 Ks and 23 walks. I don't like it. I'm just telling you. But look, do I think he's going to lose his job? No. In the bullpen, there are names there. Kelvin Herrera has some skill for sure. Evan Marshall we've liked in the past. Steve Cishek we've liked in the past. Aaron Bummer I kind of like. I think he's one of those Lima kind of guys who's very hard to hit. Look, this is a bullpen that with a lot of experience, and Colomé's there now. Do I think Colomé will end there this year? I don't know about that. But I know this. I know that the White Sox will add a piece if they need to. So at some point this year, if there's a guy out there in the market, they'll go get him. So that's what's going to happen. Now let's take a look at this rotation. Lucas Giolito. A lot of people don't realize how good he was. Going into last year, do you know that in 2018 he had an ERA of 6.13 and a whip of 1.48? So in most leagues he wasn't even drafted. Not even drafted. His strikeout to walk rate in 2 years ago was 125 to 90. I mean, that is criminal. But last year he put it together. 228 strikeouts to 57 walks. Had a whip of 1.06, won 14 games. Now here's the interesting thing. Giolito was always supposed to be this good. He just never could figure it out. And then all of a sudden, boom, the light bulb went on. That's what happens in baseball. Very rarely does a prospect completely tank. They eventually hit it. It just may take a couple of years. Giolito's a number 1 starter. You draft him in the 3rd round, and I think you'll be happy. Dallas Keuchel's now there as the second guy. Is he the Keuchel from the Houston Astro days? Probably not, but I still think this is a guy who could be getting 12, 13 wins, ERA of 3.7, 3.8, about 150 strikeouts. He's not the pitcher he was, but he's still a good pitcher. I do like Reynaldo Lopez, okay? I still think he walks too many guys, but he's got a big arm, and one day, he's going to figure it out. Now, the problem is he lit up 35 home runs last year. That's a ton. So I would tell you this. I would treat Reynaldo Lopez much like Lucas Giolito of last year. Maybe I put him on my team as a reserve at the end of the draft, but he has one of those arms where good things can happen. I'm telling you. Dylan Cease is another guy who the White Sox really like. The minor league numbers have been outstanding. Certainly the AA numbers have been good. We haven't seen him do it at the major league level, but he's a guy that you want to watch. Michael Kopech as well. Really dealt with some injuries, as we all know, but this guy was a fireballer and somebody that, once again, the White Sox think very highly of. This is a rotation with Lopez, Cease, and Kopech. Anything can happen. So what I tell you is you can put one of those guys on your roster, but you can't put 2, right? Because it's like Forrest Gump said, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're getting, okay? So you got to be careful. But right now, it's time to put away the insurance card, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Remember, check out fulltimefantasy.com and enter the promo code ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. But when you go there, you can check out Sean Childs' amazing team outlooks, and you can get even more detail on the Chicago White Sox. All right, guys, this is Dr. Roto saying be well and take care.
Thanks for listening to Full Time Fantasy. There's never been a better time to join and go full time. Visit fulltimefantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO50 for 50% off your first 2 months. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time.